So, in what has become the weirdest 48 hours that I've ever seen in Russia, it seems that as soon as this whole thing started, it's coming to an end. Apparently, Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of Wagner Group, who has been pushing towards Moscow with a significant fighting force, who took over the Southern Military District Command headquarters. Apparently, he met with Belarusian President Lukashenko, and a deal was brokered. Not between Putin and Prigozhin, but Lukashenko came in and brokered this deal. So Prigozhin came out on his Telegram channel and said, quote, they were going to dismantle PMC Wagner. I assume they're talking about they being the Russian military. They were going to dismantle PMC Wagner. We came out on 23 June to the March of Justice. In a day, we walked to nearly 200 kilometers away from Moscow. In this time, we did not spill a single drop of blood of our fighters. Now, the moment has come when blood may spill. They're probably close enough to Moscow that they may have to have engagements with the Rosguardia, the Russian National Guard. But he goes on to say, that's why, understanding the responsibility for spilling Russian blood on one of the sides, we are turning back our convoys and going back to our field camps according to the plan. I don't know what the plan was. Because if this was a Putin PSYOP plan, it was a really, really bad one. It looked like Putin demonstrated his weakness in the conflict. He was slow to react. And his morning address, the one that took place just hours ago, didn't mention Prigozhin by name. It was really disjointed. It was actually somewhat timid and meek given the seriousness of what seemed to have been taking place. After that, he made no more statements. There was really no more decision making. He kind of isolated himself away. On the other hand, out of nowhere, Lukashenko, the Belarusian president, suddenly comes in, brokers this deal, positions himself as a master negotiator to the public, and claimed to handle the whole serious conflict. I mean, I don't know why he was injecting himself. Potentially, he could see that an overthrow of Putin would lead to an easy overthrow of Lukashenko. He relies on Putin for legitimacy in Belarus. I mean, so did he jump in out of fear that he would lose power in Belarus? Or was this whole thing planned beforehand? I still just don't think that it was planned beforehand, because it just makes Putin look weak and foolish and chaotic, and the Russian people were like, what the hell's going on? It was a serious incursion into Russia. And if you looked at the media, they were confused. They were trying to piece together scenarios, and I don't know how the media is going to spin it going forward. So I don't know if someone else is pulling these strings here. In any case, the situation is very confusing, and it seems like the sides are coming from just every single direction here. But the normal players in these types of major muscle movements, these types of major PSYOPs endeavors, such as the United States or China, are really just sitting back and watching. And so we'll have to see what takes place. How do you trust Wagner Group going forward if you're a part of the Russian military? He says they're just going back to their field camps, and it was according to the plan. Is it Prigozhin's plan? Is this Putin's plan? Was this a plan that Lukashenko had worked with Putin and Prigozhin, or separately? It's just so much confusion right now. And either way, we just got to continue to watch this whole thing play out. None of this made Putin look good, no matter how you spin it. I mean, if Putin had been the one to broker the deal, had been the one to crush Prigozhin and Wagner Group, been the one to bring stability back, potentially that was a situation where Putin could claim that as a win. But if Lukashenko's the one that came in and basically, it looks like, saved Putin from Prigozhin, or Prigozhin from Putin, neither look real good. And no one's going to take Wagner Group seriously anymore, nor is the credibility of the Kremlin ever going to be the same. So we'll just have to see what happens in the next 24 hours in this crazy saga.